Today, we're making chicken corn chowder. So if you like skillet chicken and you love corn chowder, stay tuned because this recipe is up next. First thing you're going to need is a chopped onion. Also, some chopped potato. And here I've got some frozen peas, carrots, and corn. I've also got a package of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. And these few ingredients will be the bulk of our chicken corn chowder. Now when it comes to boneless chicken thighs, you should always feel in the center for remaining pieces of bone. It's the last thing you want to be biting into. We're going to season with kosher salt and pepper. Also some blackened seasoning. So we're pretty much going to make blackened chicken here, but you want to flip each piece over and season the other side as well. Again with the kosher salt and pepper and the blackened seasoning. Now over on the stove I've got a hot pan over medium-high heat. I'm going to add some olive oil and start cooking this chicken. Don't worry about overcrowding the pan. As you can see, I can fit 5 portions easily. We're going to cook this for 3 minutes on one side, then flip. As you can see, we've got some nice color. We even have a little bit of yellow in there. That's from the turmeric that I add to my blackened seasoning for my personal diet. And after 3 minutes of cooking on this side, we're going to take it straight to the oven. I'm going to just set it on the middle rack, and I'm going to cook this for 10 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now here I've got a large pot I'm going to pull to the front burner and immediately add the potatoes. No oil, just a little bit of water. And I'm going to turn this burner to high. We're going to bring that water to a boil so these potatoes can soften up a bit. It only takes about 5 minutes for that water to completely evaporate, at which point I add butter. After I stir that in for a bit, I turn the heat down to about 7 right before I add the onion. We're going for a good sear here, so we're going to add a little bit of kosher salt and pepper, season it up a little bit, stir that in until the butter melts. It only takes about 5 minutes of rest time before you can come back and bring that color from the bottom up to the top. And once you've stirred this in real good, an additional 5 minutes to sear all the way through before you add any other ingredients. By now our blackened skillet chicken should be cooked all the way through, and it's beautiful. But now we've got to get this chopped up into bite-sized pieces, and this needs to be done to every chicken thigh portion. Now we can go ahead and add our other vegetables, the corn, the carrot, and the peas. I add the carrots and peas because I like a thicker stew type chowder. But you have to add all-purpose flour to thicken it up. And you just stir that in until the white color fades. And then we can start adding our liquids. And I'm going to start by adding my homemade Roscato wine. And if you don't know by now, I have a video playlist and a blog post teaching you how to make homemade wine. And I just stir this in until the alcohol burns off and it gets a little bit pasty. Then I add chicken broth. And if I was making clam chowder, I would use clam juice, or a seafood chowder, I'd use seafood broth. Turn the heat back up to high so we can get a rolling boil going. It'll help thicken up this chowder. Once that's achieved, I add the cream. And this is one of my favorite parts because this is when it actually starts looking like a chowder. The color lightens up quite a bit as you're stirring, and with that constant high heat, we'll bring the temperature back up to boil, at which point you can add your chicken. And you'd do the exact same thing if this were a seafood or clam chowder. This recipe works great for either or. But once you've got that stirred in, I'm going to season with a little bit of Italian seasoning. And for a little bit of heat, I'm going to add some white pepper. You really shouldn't need any more salt at this point, given that we seasoned both the vegetables and the chicken. But you do need to drop that heat down to a simmer. and let your chowder reduce to your desired thickness. And for me it looks something like this. And it only took me 30 minutes to make. Now it's time to serve. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to ring that bell for notifications. And there you have it, chicken corn chowder right here in the Poor Man's Gourmet Kitchen.
Thank you for watching, and be sure to stop by PoorMansGourmetKitchen.com for more recipes and exact ingredients.